Over to the Indo-Pacific now, where at least 18 people have died and another 19 injured as wildfires ravaged South Korea's southern regions amid dry weather and strong winds. Officials in Andong City and other southeastern cities and towns ordered residents to evacuate as firefighters struggled to contain multiple blazes fueled by dry winds, which burned more than 17,000 hectares of land and destroyed hundreds of structures, including a 1,300-year-old Buddhist temple. More than 5,500 people were forced to evacuate from their homes in Andong, the neighbouring countries of Uiseong and Sachong, and the city of Uslan, where the fires were the largest. South Korean officials said that the firefighters had extinguished most of the flames from the largest wildfires in those areas, but the ongoing dry and windy weather caused setbacks and allowed the blazes to spread again. Nearly 9,000 firefighters, along with more than 130 helicopters and hundreds of vehicles, were deployed to battle the fires, but efforts were partially suspended overnight as the wind strengthened. Meanwhile, South Korea's Prime Minister and Acting President Han Duck-soo has vowed to deploy all resources to fight the wildfires. Let's listen in.
역대 최악의 산불 기록을 갈아쓰고 있습니다. 산불 진화 과정에서 유명을 달리하신 4분을 포함하여 현재 기준 총 18분이 목숨을 잃고 주민 2만 3천여 명이 긴급 대피하였습니다. 우리나라에 주둔하고 있는 미군으로부터도 헬기의 지원을 받는 등 이러한 지원을 최대한 동원해서 진화 작업에 전력을 다하고
We move to the Middle East now, where Israeli forces have killed at least 37 Palestinians in Gaza on Tuesday, including women and children, according to certain reports, as the airstrikes intensified. Israel also confirmed killing Al Jazeera journalist Hossam Shabat, alleging he was a Hamas operative. Meanwhile, hundreds of Palestinians in northern Gaza protested against Hamas, chanting slogans like Hamas out and calling for an end to the war. Meanwhile, in Syria, an Israeli attack killed 6 people in Dara, with Syrian's foreign ministry condemning the strike as a violation of sovereignty. Israel said it was responding to militants firing on its troops. The airstrike follows previous Israeli attacks on military bases in the Homs region, which is in central Syria. The United Nations has called for an independent investigation into Israeli military actions in Gaza and Syria, citing concerns over civilian casualties. Syria has also demanded an international inquiry into the latest strikes. The situation continues to escalate as regional tensions mount. Let's take a look at the UN statements.
I'm concerned by Israeli statements on the intention to stay in Syria for the foreseeable future, as well as demands for the full demilitarization of southern Syria. I appeal to the Security Council to hold Israel to its commitments that this is a temporary presence and stress that Israel must withdraw and respect Syria's sovereignty, territorial integrity, unity and independence.
More from the region now, where Hamdan Ballal, the Palestinian co-director of the Oscar-winning documentary No Other Land, who was detained by the Israeli army after being attacked by settlers, has now been released. In a post on social media platform X on Tuesday, his fellow co-director, Yuval Abraham, said after being handcuffed all night and beaten in a military base, Hamdan Ballal is now free and about to go home to his family. Ballal said he was held at an army base and forced to sleep under a freezing air conditioner. This is not the first time that directors and a member of the crew of No Other Land have been attacked by settlers. Last February, Andra, who was also surrounded and attacked by masked Israeli settlers while speaking about the treatment received while he was detained. Here's what Hamdan had to say.
يعني هجوم قوي جدا اللي هو بهدف القتل اللي هو بعد ما فزت في الأوسكار ما كنت متوقع إنه أنا أتعرض لهيك هجومات أنا فكرت إنه فعلا بعد الأوسكار صار إنه الهجوم مركز كثير ممكن علينا وتهديد حتى على حياتنا مستقبلا طبعا كان يضرب في جميع أنحاء جسمي وكان في جندي.
Over to Turkey now, where almost 1,500 people have been detained in the country as tens of thousands continued to protest in the Turkish capital after the arrest of the main political rival of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The biggest protests in Turkey over a decade erupted last week following the arrest of Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu on corruption charges, a move opposition supporters see as a blatant violation of the rule of law. Authorities have hit back with a crackdown that has alarmed rights groups, with 7 journalists who covered the protests remanded in custody by an Istanbul court. The court charged Akgül, 35, and the others with taking part in political rallies and marches, though Fries said Akgül was not part of the protest but only covering it as a journalist.
Sokaklarda terör estirenlerin, bu ülkeyi yangın yerine çevirmek isteyenlerin varacağı hiçbir menzil yoktur. Girdikleri yol çıkmaz.
Let's turn to the Indo-Pacific now, where Thailand's Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra has sailed through a no-confidence vote in Parliament, emerging unscathed from a 2-day opposition onslaught and reaffirming the stability of her ruling coalition. Thailand's youngest Prime Minister won the backing of 319 out of 488 lawmakers present. This came despite a barrage of barbs during a censure debate that accused her of being unqualified, lacking economic knowledge and evading tax and taking direction from influential father and political heavyweight Thaksin Shinawatra. The censure debate was the biggest test for the ruling coalition, consisting of several pro-royalist and military-backed parties. Well, that's all we have time for. We will continue to bring you more news updates from across the world.